word is on the street that the Browns are interviewing Mike McCarthy. There was also a report out of the state of Arizona that it's actually a done deal. Where do things stand on the coaching searches that have been open the longest on Green Bay and Cleveland, as best you could tell right here the day after the season number?
Yeah, Cleveland's wide open. And I would say Cleveland's going to look at offensive coaches. I think Adam Gase will be in play there. I think they'll look at defensive coaches. They'll look at guys who aren't coordinators right now, like Dan Campbell. And I also expect them to look in the college ranks. Like I've heard for 2 months now that Matt Campbell at Iowa State is somebody that they're pretty hot on. And so, the Browns have planned all along to have a wide open process, and that'll include, the two guys in house, Greg Williams and Freddie Kitchens, and that's the way I'd expect them to go forward. The Packers are pretty far along. They've already brought in some guys and interviewed them, and they've sort of set it up so they're going to be able to move fairly quickly. Josh McDaniels is high on their list because there's the recognition in that building. There aren't that many people on the planet capable of coaching someone like Aaron Rodgers, and Josh obviously has the unique experience of having coached Tom Brady, which would kind of put him in that category. There's Pat Fitzgerald at Northwestern, who has the connection to Mark Murphy. Mark Murphy actually elevated him into the head coaching role at Northwestern. And so, I think the Packers are a little further along. The Browns are committed to doing a wide open search and looking under every rock. And, I think that John Dorsey wants to think outside the box with this hire. The Packers, I think, are a little bit more streamlined and a little further down the road, and I could see them making a hire a little bit quicker. And then you mentioned Mike McCarthy. I think McCarthy is the one right now that a lot of people are looking at. And I think I put Arizona in this category. I put Tampa in this category. The New York Jets potentially, where teams are starting to look at Mike McCarthy and say, "Is this Andy Reid?" Nobody was looking at Andy Reid as this offensive innovator 6 years ago when the Eagles fired him. But he took the opportunity to sort of reinvent himself and infuse new ideas into what he was doing, and it's been incredible for 6 years in Kansas City. A lot of people look at Andy Reid and Mike McCarthy the same way, as a guy who's capable and smart enough to reinvent himself. And so, like someone like Arizona who struck out on Andy Reid 6 years ago is going to look at it. Tampa, I think, is looking for a name hire. I mentioned John Harbaugh there. I think Mike McCarthy's in the mix in Tampa as well. And the Jets sort of see him as somebody who could be a stabilizing force. So you mentioned McCarthy. I think his name's going to be out there.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.